Daisy, the diesel rail car, was feeling good. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the passengers hadn't complained.
What could possibly go wrong?
She thought to herself. But Daisy was soon to find out. When she arrived at Maithwaite Station, the rail car spotted a lorry she'd never seen before.
Hello there. Lovely day, isn't it?
The lorry sniffed snootily.
What's good about it? I've been working non-stop as of late, and now I'm surrounded by old, unreliable diesels.
I do beg your pardon.
Replied Daisy, offended.
I am the latest of diesel traction and highly sprung. I'd rather be that than a silly old steam lorry.
Silly?
Grumbled the lorry.
Old? That's vintage Sentinel lorry to you, and a far more superior one to boot. I don't break down from blown fuses after all.
Daisy was furious and growled grumpily away. That night at the sheds, Daisy told the others about the lorry. "That'll be Elizabeth," said Thomas. "She means well, but she can be a bit... a bit..." "Harsh," replied Toby. "I take no notice of her, Daisy." "Harsh but means well," Percy chuckled. "Now who does that remind you of, you two?" Thomas and Toby giggled knowingly. Daisy rolled her eyes and went to sleep. The next morning, Daisy had to take the milk to the dairy. As she buffered up, Elizabeth was being loaded with crates close by.
What's this then?
Elizabeth replied.
Pulling just one little milk tanker? Why, I can carry twice the gallon in my tipper than that old thing.
At least I am doing something useful instead of acting high and mighty,
retorted Daisy.
I'd be careful of that mouth of yours, dear. It might cause an accident.
Elizabeth huffed indignantly.
I haven't time to dawdle with you, rail car. The Fat Controller relies on me to deliver these crates to the harbour.
And with that, Elizabeth puffed away. She was soon out on the road, thinking about Daisy as she travelled.
Silly old rail car,
she muttered.
Be careful of my mouth, indeed. I am more reliable and better than her anyway.
But as Elizabeth travelled, there was trouble. A leaky truck had spilled oil on the road ahead, and Elizabeth didn't see it until too late. She splashed through it and began skidding out of control.
Oh,
she cried.
I can't stop!
Stay calm, old girl, replied her driver, and hold on. Daisy, meanwhile, was going well, and had to stop at a signal near Terence's field, when suddenly everything happened at once.
Oh, no! Oof! Oh! Ow!
Her driver had jumped clear as the dust settled, but Elizabeth lay bruised and battered in the field. Daisy surveyed the wreckage.
What on earth do you think you're doing?
She cried out.
You've destroyed the tanker and nearly hit me.
I'm sorry,
moaned Elizabeth.
Oil was on the road and I didn't see it.
Soon Thomas arrived with a crane and the Fat Controller. I'm very disappointed, Elizabeth. You should have had your eye out on the road.
I'm sorry, sir,
replied Elizabeth meekly. I also heard from Daisy that you have been rude to her. I know everyone has their differences, but acting high on a pedestal and insulting people will get you nowhere. I can only hope this will teach you how not to act rudely with others.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir,
said Elizabeth sadly. And when the Fat Controller left, she began to feel that she wasn't superior anymore. A few days later, Daisy was being prepared for her first train when Elizabeth puffed in.
Come to gloat again?
Asked Daisy.
No, I actually came to apologize for my behavior. I'm sorry if I offended you, and I think you railcars are quite an impressive bunch.
That's all right, my dear.
Daisy smiled, flattered.
You're forgiven. I must say that you vintage lorries might be old, but you definitely pack a punch.
And the two laughed heartily. Elizabeth and Daisy are now firm friends. Whenever they see each other, they would give a cheerful greeting, and they never boasted about each other ever again.